Welcome to 1984.
I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. It's a term that was simply just made up to explain existence in the 21st century. It's just another academic discipline. You might see it used a lot in public sector. I know there's a lot of government contractors and stuff that refer to the term. You could see it all over academic work from FFRDCs, federally funded research and development centers, and a lot of other institutions. It's just a field to describe all the technologies that intertwined can connect people with places and activities. So pretty much, yes, the marketing advertisement ecosystem. The way this field is broken up is the 5 vectors, and those 5 vectors are visual, physical, electronic signals, travel, financial, and online. Visual and physical is anything that has to do with you. Would be facial recognition, your DNA, it could even count license plate readers and whatnot. Then you get into the electronic signals vector, that's anything in the RF spectrum. I know we got the EM spectrum over here, RF spectrum right here. So we're really just focusing on different communications protocols that occur in the RF spectrum. Sure, you could expand that out and do the EM spectrum, but we're just talking about RF for the most part. Then you have the travel vector, which encompasses anything that has to do with your travel records. It could be that PNR, the record locator, that weird alphanumeric thing that you're always forgetting when the travel agent gives it to you. It could also be a bus ticket. It could be a visa record. It could be anything having to do with travel. Then you have the financial vector. That talks about anything with transfer value, store of wealth, any of that. It could be a bank account record. It could be a crypto wallet. It could be a bunch of gold in your closet. It could be some random, very, very valuable, expensive work of art that your buddy made. Then lastly is the online vector. While all of these vectors, I should have said, are distinct in focus, they really overlap, are intertwined, and are interdependent on one another. The online vector is of particular interest because unlike the other vectors, the online vector really relies on you feeding it. While you may not have a lot of say in how your fingerprints are collected, how your face is collected, what your bank does with your data, what electronic signals your phone puts off, you don't have a lot of control in that because somebody else has written those protocols, somebody else is providing you that service, and you're dependent on that service. The online vector focuses on stuff that you feed into it. That's your Instagram, your Facebook, your Yelp reviews, your Google Maps stuff. This is all stuff that you voluntarily feed into this system. And sure, sometimes you have online banking access. So you're now feeding the financial vector and the online vector. I can use my bank and touch the financial vector without ever touching the online vector if I'm not using that app, if I'm not doing stuff online, but we all do. So generally speaking, we feed the online vector unless you completely live in the middle of the woods, which is awesome. Please, let's hang out. Let me know how you do it. Then key thing to understand is that UTS and the technologies that underlie the entire field are pervasive and permanent. They are with us at home, they're with us on the go, they're with us at work, and they are with us during our free time. Think about it. You wake up, your alarm is tied to your phone. It's also tied to your alarm that's connected to your Spotify/Pandora account, which then turns on your Bluetooth coffee maker to make your espresso. And then as you're on your way to work, you're using satellite navigation, military satellites in the air to get you from point A to point B. And of course, your car's collecting a whole bunch of stuff on you. That's a whole other topic for another day. Then you're at work. You got these access cards at work. You have your usernames and passwords. You have all sorts of other things. You have the HVAC system, which detects when you get into work. You could tell your boss, oh, I was here on time. Your boss is going to check the HVAC system and say, well, the automatic lights and heating system didn't turn on until you arrived, which was 15 minutes late. Then the center of your free time. How many of us are just buried in our phones all the time? I know you guys are buried on your phone. I know you guys are buried on your phone, right? So it's the center of our free time. Everything we do is connected with these technologies. Lastly, there's something I came up with called the GCCD cycle. And I'm sure a lot of other people came up with this stuff because I should have said from the beginning, I am not an expert. You are not an expert. They are not an expert. Nobody is an expert. We're all just trying to do our best, and collectively, we can start tackling these concepts and these technologies. So the GCCD cycle is something that I use to explain things to people. That is that technology is born in the depths of government labs at Area 51. Then it gets commercialized because that technology is licensed to commercial entities. So let's take an example as I go through this. Let's look at unmanned aerial systems. Over Area 51, you have these autonomous aerial systems flying over it, no pilots. People are reporting, hey, I think I saw a plane with no pilots. You're crazy. That's a UFO, whatever it is. All of a sudden, over the battlefields of Afghanistan, we realize, uh-oh, they are real. Then that technology gets licensed to a commercial entity. Someone says, hey man, I really need to inspect like 1,000 miles of pipeline. Can I use this system? I need to track livestock. I need to look at my property for miles. Can I use these systems? Sure, here's a license. You make a commercial iteration of it. And then in the depths of these marketing departments at these corporations, at these commercial entities, some dude's like, bro, we need to make more money off of these licenses. And the other guy's like, that'll never work. And then some guy's like, dude, hear me out. Have you heard of influencers? So of course they make a consumer version of this because somebody's gonna buy it and do like #life, yay, as they are on the top of a mountain doing their influencing, or you have the drone following them while they're surfing. So now you have a consumer version of a commercial technology, which was born in the depths of government research labs at Area 51. Then some nerd, and I say that affectionately, obviously, because, I mean, duh, nerd here. Some nerd's like, hey, I want it to do something that it's not meant to do. Then you have DIY enthusiasts, do-it-yourself people, who are then messing with the consumer version of the technology to make it go faster, further, be able to lift more, have more of a payload. And then guess what happens? Look at the right-hand side of this slide. You now have munitions on a super-powered, hyper-powered consumer drone being used for government purposes. So see, that's the GCCD cycle. It goes from government to consumer to commercial to DIY, then back to government again. That is what's causing one of the main things, which is you to be a data factory and a UTS magnet. Everything that you do touches and involves UTS, whether you're checking your camera, opening your phone, paying for something. You can't pay for a muffin these days without being at the center of basically all 5 UTS vectors.